The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the 2025 First Pitch Dinner coverage here on the Spartan Media Network. I am Scott Moore, happy to be back for another year as the play-by-play for the baseball team. I'll be joined by Jim Cotter again this year, and we're happy to be here at the First Pitch Dinner. The situation here, you have a lot of people that are here to support the team. You have the entire team here. They've been signing autographs throughout the opening session. There's a silent auction, and folks have been putting in their bids throughout the entire day. We're going to talk with a few of the players from this year's team. We're going to talk with the distinguished alumnus, Dr. Al Bolles, and we will talk with the head coach of the Spartans, Jake Boss Jr. So sit back and enjoy. We're getting ready for baseball season. Well, we're joined now by Jacob Anderson, redshirt junior, listed as a third baseman this year. But, boy, you have played everywhere in the infield just about, Jacob.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's it's kind of been an experience over the last few years, but, it's a pleasure to, be as a utility guy. It's just to be available wherever is needed.
You're kind of the Swiss Army knife of the team. They can put you anywhere and you'll play. You could go in the outfield and you'd play, right?
I'm not too sure about that one. But,
okay, all right. We'll keep you in the dirt. We'll keep you in the dirt. You were voted one of the two team captains this year. What was that like when you found out that you were going to be a captain?
Man, it was unreal in my opinion. Growing up a Spartan, it's just been a dream. Just to, even be a part of this team in the first place was a blessing. And to, just be able to have such an impact and such an influence on these guys this year to be voted the leader, it's my pleasure. And I'm grateful.
And part of that leadership is in the locker room. Are you one of the vocal guys? Are you a guy who's going to step up in the locker room or in the dugout and say, come on, guys?
Right. So, my role, from my perspective, I'm more of a quiet leader.
Okay.
So I try to lead by example. Definitely times where you need to speak up and be a vocal leader. But, my approach to it is, if I can lead by my action and try to influence others that way, I think, in my opinion, I learn best that way. So I try to be that kind of leader for the guys.
Well, and that's not only on the field, but in the classroom too. Two-time academic All Big Ten honoree. How do you balance? Because baseball, you got to put a lot of time in on baseball, but you got to put a lot of time in on classes too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm studying kinesiology, and, I don't know why I'm wired this way, but I love science. I absolutely love it. So, it's very easy for me to work hard on my studies, every day in the classroom. It's kind of an interesting day for me, and I just want to, further my knowledge, not only on the field but in the classroom, and I kind of look forward to growing my knowledge.
We're talking with Jacob Anderson, one of the co-captains on the team this year. Jacob, let's talk a little bit about last year. Not a bad year, 255 average, 4 doubles, 1 home run. That was in the season opener against Merrimack. What was that experience like for you? Your first game of the year and you bash one.
Yeah, so It was just, I think it was a lot of adrenaline. That game,
Okay.
everybody was ready to go. If I remember correctly, there were several home runs that game. And, I just think it was all the guys coming out with, we're ready to go. Warm weather, first game of the year, finally out of the snow. Everybody was just ready to go, and, it was contagious, very contagious.
You see that every once in a while in baseball where one guy gets one and then everybody starts going yard. Can home runs be contagious?
For sure. Energy is very contagious, especially in the game of baseball. Momentum. It's crazy how it can change the course of a baseball game.
You did have some injury issues last year. What was that like, trying to struggle through that and then come back and get back into the lineup?
Right. So, at the beginning of the year, I struggled with a pulled hamstring that took a couple weeks and honestly was bothering me all year. And then I was dealing with some cartilage in my wrist. But, you know, man, our training staff, Justin Wass and his little crew, they're the best. I mean, you walk into the training room, they're there for you whenever you need it. And, you know, all in all, I just got to give thanks to God because, you know, he has a plan for me, and he helped me get through last season, and I'm grateful for where I'm at this point, and it was all because of him.
You finished strong. The last game against Nebraska,
Yep.
3 hits in the game.
Yeah.
You hoping that kind of carries over this year?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
It's been a long time, but
yeah, I mean, look, 3 hits a game. I'd be happy to take that any day. Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
When it comes down to it, just trying to do what's best for the team. You know, whether it's sack bunt, sack fly, whatever they need to, whatever we need to win the game, I'm willing to do.
All right. Well, Jacob, we hope for you a healthy season. No more hamstring issues.
Yes, sir.
You do have a pretty good medical staff in case something does happen, but we hope that certainly nothing like that happens. You have a very healthy year and a very productive year.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's Jacob Anderson, enlisting now as a third baseman. We don't know where he's going to wind up playing, but we do know he's a Spartan from Oakland Township. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Joined now by Sam Busch, another infielder, first baseman / designated hitter for the Spartans, and he is an East Lansing native. You just never had to leave town to go to college. How cool is that?
It is pretty cool, you know, being in my backyard. I mean, I've been here for 5 years now, too, so, I mean, I've been here my whole life. And, no, it's really neat. It's really an honor. A dream come true, honestly. I've always wanted to go to school here, play baseball here. So, yeah, it's really a dream come true.
Well, you had kind of a breakout season last year, and you had been, earlier in your career, you had other starters that were in front of you, so you didn't get a whole lot of playing time. You got a chance last year, and you kind of blossomed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, a couple years ago, we had another first baseman here named Brock Vredenberg. A lot of people know him, and, you know, playing under him, he taught me a lot. We came in the same recruiting class, too, and so I was around him a lot, and he kind of taught me to play the first base position. I got to DH that year, too, so I got to be in the lineup. But, yeah, last year I got my feet wet at first base, and it was fun. It was really fun. You know, it was a lot of years in the making. If you would have told me coming in, I wouldn't have believed you if I was able to play first base. I struggled a whole lot early on, but, you know, just taking those reps and putting it all together here, it's been fun.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like during the season you improved your play from the first game to the last game?
I think so, yeah. Just, you know, getting comfortable, you know, being there every day. You know, it's a lot of reps, I'll tell you that. It's every year, you know, we take all these ground balls, and it's one thing to do it in practice, but to put it together, do it in the game is another thing. So, yeah, I do think I got better throughout the year and just being more comfortable.
Well, the speed in the game has to be something that is hard to replicate in practice. You can try, but the actual speed of the game when things are on the line, I would think would be taking it up a notch.
Yeah, definitely. You get a little bit more nerves once the real games start, and it's a lot of fun though. You know, playing with all these guys. You know, it's an honor, and playing behind guys, and you know, like when you got a pitcher up there, you just want to make plays for them, and you know, you love these guys, and you just want to make plays, get the next out. So.
We're talking with Sam Busch, the pride of East Lansing, coming up on another season as the first baseman for the Spartans. You, too, we just talked to Jacob Anderson a little bit ago. Yeah, he was voted captain. You were voted a team captain. How cool is that for you, and what went through your mind when you found out?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's an honor to be named a captain by, you know, my teammates. You know, coming into this season, knowing that it's my last year, I wanted to kind of step up in that leadership role, and you know, we had a team vote, I think at the end of the fall, and coming back this semester, we learned that we were captains, and it's just an honor. You know, it's there's a lot that goes with it, but you know, I think I'm ready for it, and you know, just kind of getting out of my shell, using my voice a little bit more. But yeah, it really is an honor, and I'm just happy to be one of those guys that guys can look up to.
Now, as a captain, I asked Jacob this. As a captain, what kind of leader are you? Are you a vocal leader, or are you a set an example type?
I would say a little bit of both. I think my first years here, I didn't talk a whole lot. Kind of stayed within, didn't really say a whole lot to other people, try to just kind of, do my business day in, day out. But now that I do have that title as a captain, I think it's important to use my voice a little bit more. So I'm trying to work on that, do that a little bit more. But, just do the right thing every day, just day in, day out, and just be a guy that younger guys can look up to and see how things roll and stuff like that.
Last year, you were second on the team with 7 round trippers, and with your left-handed swing, you have to salivate every time you come up and the wind is blowing out to right field. Did you do any work over the offseason on the swing to try to, maybe get a little more consistent with the power game?
Yeah, I think overall consistency is my big thing. I think I started off the year pretty well. Kind of had a rough year as the year went on. Just, putting the ball in play, limiting those strikeouts is probably my biggest thing I wanted to do going into the offseason this fall, and I think I've done that. It's one of those things, baseball, you play a lot of games. It's hard to stay consistent the whole time, and Coach Bolles talks about it all the time, staying even keel, not too high, not too low, and I think that's another thing, just the mental side of it, You're always searching for that next at-bat. Even if you are struggling, you're one at-bat away from getting out of it. So, just trying to fix my mindset a little bit better and, just the consistent swing, too. That's a big thing.
It came to my mind here that it's kind of like, I've been working with the hockey team for a long time, and we talk about how goalies have to have a next play mentality at first base and at the plate. Baseball players all have to do that all game long.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's a game. Let's face it. It's a game where if you fail 7 times out of 10, you're still playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, Coach talks about it. You don't want to try to be perfect because you're never going to be perfect in life, or especially the game of baseball. So. Just trying to, like you said, if you are struggling, you're always one at-bat away, one play away from getting out of it. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. We can utilize the short game. And just like I said, having that mindset, being positive through it. Everyone goes through. Everyone's going to have an 0 for 10, 0 for 15. Happens to everybody. So it's just a matter of getting out of that.
Yep, you just got to work your way through it, work your way out of it. Exactly. We were talking about home runs earlier, and one thing came to my mind. Foley Field in Georgia. You got a hold of one down there and sent it, over the scoreboard?
Yes, sir.
Wow. You kind of hit that one right on the nails, huh?
Yeah, that was a fun game. We went into that. It was on spring break, actually. We were down in Greenville. We bussed over there, and we didn't know if we were going to play or not because it was raining all pregame. And so we didn't even take BP. And we went into that game a little nervous, obviously. I mean, SEC field, SEC opponent, it's like – but, we had that confidence throughout the game, and we never lost it. And luckily, I did get a hold of one, and that was probably one of my better baseball moments, I would say, memories. And, it was just a lot of fun. And, celebrating after that game, busing home back to Greenville, those are memories you're never going to forget.
What kind of things do we look for out of Sam Busch this year?
Just a player that, like I said, is a leader and that uses his voice and can help out younger guys. And then on the field, just being consistent, making some good plays over at first base, and just driving in runs for this team, winning a lot of games. So.
All right, Sam, have a great season. Thanks for your time here today.
I appreciate it.
And we'll all be watching as we work through the preseason, and we'll be on the air, weather permitting, against Michigan on March 12th.
Yes, sir. Can't wait. Thank you.
Well, we're joined now by kind of the functionary of the day, Dr. Al Bolles, who has been deemed this year's Distinguished Alumnus. Congratulations on that award, Al.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about your time at Michigan State. You were here in what,
So I was a freshman in 1976.
Okay, all right.
And I entered Lyman Briggs College I came from a very small school in Michigan, and I really liked the fact that Lyman Briggs could make Michigan State small for me.
Okay.
And it turned out to be just a terrific pathway for me. I was very interested in science, and I had great teachers there, and it gave me a really great base to build off of. And after my 4 years there, I was able to go to graduate school and take a lot of the science that I had learned and apply it and go into the food science and nutrition industry.
Okay.
And that was really a great time for me. It was very satisfactory.
What was that time frame, or mid to late 80s, 90s?
Early
was that
80s.
Was that kind of a boom time for food science?
Well, it was, but it wasn't a boom time for jobs.
Okay.
So I have to tell you, one of the reasons I picked it was people always had to eat. And the food industry was always very steady. And I was able to get my graduate degrees and land a very good job. And I've had a great career with that, with food science as the base. And I've never, ever had to worry about finding a job.
Well, we're talking with Dr. Al Bolles, the distinguished alumnus this year at the First Pitch Dinner. Let's talk about that career. What was the career track like?
So I, out of college, I went as a food scientist, got a job for a company at the time called General Foods.
Okay.
I worked there 3 years, and they wanted to move me to the East Coast, and I'm a Midwestern guy. So I left and went to Gerber and spent 10 years at Gerber. And I started to move out of the science field into the management track.
Okay.
And it was really great, and I was able to help create a product line called Gerber Graduates. I really liked innovation.
Familiar with it?
Did not exist, and I was part of the team that developed that. And then from there, I went on to PepsiCo. There was an opportunity for me to be a vice president and to develop the R&D organization down in Tropicana in Florida.
Okay.
So I went there, and I spent 12 years in the PepsiCo organization and worked my way up to senior vice president level. And after that, I had an opportunity to go to ConAgra in Omaha, and I became executive vice president of research, quality, and innovation. And then later on, I ran all of supply chain as well. So my career evolved with more responsibility, but I always had the baseline of a solid education. Michigan State was one of the best schools in the country for agriculture and food science and nutrition, and that was always kind of like my North Star was Michigan State.
Now, how about your connection with baseball?
Right. So I played a lot of baseball as a kid, played in high school. I lettered in high school. I was a pretty good center fielder.
Okay.
Loved the game. Was able to have someone who was my neighbor who had actually played professional baseball, had taught me the thinking of baseball.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the thinking aspect of it, and I still do to this day. And when I came to Michigan State, I didn't go out for the team. I didn't think I was good enough to make it. And I was right, because a guy showed up named Kirk Gibson who played center field.
Yeah.
So I don't think my career would have been very long if I had made the team.
I understand he was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But baseball to me, and I had the pleasure of meeting Jake at a function several years ago. Really connected with him, and I really not only respect him for his tenure here as coach, but it's how Jake takes care of business.
Right.
And the emphasis that he puts on the student athlete. It's almost like capital student, small letters athlete. And he really emphasizes hitting the books and getting an education. And I respect that a lot. And that's one reason Mary Kay and myself really support this program and believe in what Jake does to develop human capital.
Well, it's important to have people, even if you didn't play here at Michigan State, important to have people like you that can support the program, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to do it, and we hope more people find Michigan State baseball, because even if it's here in the Midwest, it's a great place to come, great place to get an education, and I couldn't think of a better coach to play for than Jake.
Now, are you still in Omaha?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say we would see you out at TD Ameritrade Park.
I used to have a lot of tickets to those
I'm sure you did.
games, but no, we retired back in Michigan, and we now live in Spring Lake, Michigan.
Okay. All right. Over on the lakeshore. I love it over there.
We do too.
Okay. Well, maybe you can make a trip to Omaha with us and go back to your old stomping grounds.
That sounds like a plan.
That would be great. Dr. Al Bolles, thanks for the time here.
Thank you.
And thanks for everything you do for the program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're joined now by junior left-hander Joseph Dzierwa out of Haskins, Ohio. And I've got to ask you first, before we get into any nuts and bolts, I was with you guys when you played at Ohio State. To play in your home state, how cool was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. We had a decent crowd there, too, so it was even cooler. So it was pretty neat.
You did have quite a cheering section that day. Definitely. So going into the new season, 2025, I've got a list here of things that have happened with UTAB Baseball America's Big Ten Conference Preseason Pitcher of the Year. Third team All-America by perfect game. D1 Baseball has you on their 150 college draft prospects list at 121. So there's no pressure going into your junior season.
No, I mean, I think those are all great, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're there to play, so.
Yeah, exactly. Had a great breakout season last year. When things get rolling like that, not only in the game but in the season, what's that? They say that batters see the ball bigger. What's the equivalent for a pitcher?
Yeah, I think it's just focus every pitch. I think that's what I've learned, especially from freshman to sophomore year, was really just focusing in on everything you do every day.
You were second in the Big Ten in both innings pitched with 84 and strikeouts with 91. Can you do better?
Yeah.
You think you got it in you?
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, I set some pretty high standards talking with some of the coaches here, but, I mean, I want to be a lot better than that.
What kind of things did you work on over the summer? I'm assuming you played in a college summer league.
Yeah, I played in Cape Cod. I was really trying to get another pitch, another breaking ball down, and so, I mean, I've been trying to do it for 3 years now, and I went out there and learned a lot, and I think it was very helpful for me to learn, just not physically but mentally too. And I came back here, and then Coach Vandy and Merlo, we really started going after it, and I mean, now it's been pretty cool to see how far it's come along.
So how many pitches do you have now?
Yeah.
How many pitches do you trust in a game?
Yeah, so I got 4 now, and I trust all of them, and I think that kind of gives credit back to Vandy, especially freshman year, was kind of throwing every pitch versus every count, every hitter, and so I think that's kind of where my confidence has grown over the time.
It's nice that you have Vandy back and healthy to work with all season. Last season must have been tough for you pitchers, tough for him too, but tough for you pitchers. What was it like last year?
Yeah, I mean, I felt horrible for the dude. I mean, it was good though too. I mean, now looking back at it, I mean, he's great now. He's unbelievable. I mean, I put him up there as one of the best in the country, and so I mean, having him back is huge. And I think this group as a whole for the staff, like pitching staff, I think is very experienced. I mean, we got one freshman, and other than that, I think everyone's seen at least some college innings and stuff. So it's been pretty cool.
You really kind of struggled as a team last year to find that third and fourth starter. Through fall ball, you think all that's squared out now?
Yeah, I mean, I think there might be a little different plans in the future here, and so I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think, I mean, like I said, we have a ton of depth. I think compared to last year, my freshman year, I mean, I've never really been a part of a team with this much depth.
All right, so 151 career strikeouts. You need 19 to get into the top 10 and replace Mick Van Vossen. How many games does it take you to get 19?
I don't know. hopefully 2, maybe 3.
Two would be very good. 2 would be very good. I did want to ask you about over the summer. You did have thoughts about trying to move somewhere, and all of a sudden you said, "Nope, I'm coming back." What was the thought process?
Yeah, I mean, a lot came back into it, but honestly, just kind of being able to what I would be able to provide for the team and kind of coming back. And I mean, for me, looking back at it now too, I mean, even these past 3-4 months, I've learned so much about myself as a person, most importantly, and I think that's kind of what I was kind of looking forward to.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the time. I wish you nothing but success because I'm going to be up there watching them, and it's more fun for me to call them when you're striking guys out. So that's Joseph Dzierwa. Thanks again for
Appreciate
the time,
it.
man.
Thank you.
Joseph Dzierwa from Haskins, Ohio. We're joined now by the head coach of the Spartans, Jake Boss Jr., entering your 17th season at the helm of the Spartans, 18th overall year as a head coach. You've carved out a pretty nice career for yourself, sir.
Thanks, Scott. It's it's been it was my life's goal to be the head coach at Michigan State, and it was my dream job when I started coaching at the collegiate level, and I've just been so incredibly blessed to not only to be the head coach of Michigan State, but to be here now for 17 seasons. It's awesome.
And Michigan State, let me tell you, is blessed to have you here.
I appreciate that.
And we love working with you during the springtime as I transition from the speed of hockey to the relative calm and sometimes lots of speed.
Same temperature, though.
Yeah. Well, at least at the start of the season it is, yeah. Tell me about this year's team. You did get a chance to see people in the fall, and now you've been out for a couple of days practicing here in the start of your season. How is the team shaping up in your mind?
Well, we got a great group. It's an awesome group. Kids work hard. They take care of their business off the field. And they're a lot of fun to be around. We got a lot of really strong leaders in that group, and like I said, they work incredibly hard. A lot of returning guys, a lot of new guys, so there's a balance there, which I think is really good. And it's a group that's meshed together pretty good. So I'm excited to go out and compete with those guys.
That's a big thing, is just the personalities on the team and how they work together. And we saw that 2 years ago, the group that went out to Omaha. The way they interacted on the bus was fantastic. You got another group like that?
We do, yeah. Very, very tight-knit group here. I think that's one of the benefits of playing in the spring, that you have all year to kind of foster those relationships and build the team. And once you get going and you start playing on the road, that obviously helps a lot. But we have a lot of time from September till February 14th when the first game is there. So that's when the team is really kind of built and comes together and fun to watch.
Now, what's it like for the coaching? I know you have fall ball and you get to spend a certain amount of time with your guys, but once you get through with fall ball, can you have any contact with them at all, or is it just hands off?
No, we get 8 hours a week with them.
Okay.
And, guys still pop in the office all the time, and so we can check in on weights and how things at workouts are going like that. And you get 8 hours a week, like I said, so it's you get a little bit of an opportunity, but certainly coming up, we'll be with each other an awful lot.
Oh yeah, you'd be with each other plenty.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about you. 576 wins. That's a lot of wins.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the next one, to be quite honest with you. We've had a lot of good players. We've had a coaching staff that it's been together for a long, long time, and so I'm the one that gets to fill the lineup card out, I guess, but those guys are the ones with their feet on the ground and really putting in all the work.
Let's talk about the continuity of the staff and the importance of that. You got Mark Vandermeed back a few years ago.
Yep.
He had his medical issues last year. He's good to go now, and you've got guys that have been around these players for quite a while.
Right, we have, and it's I think that consistency in our staff speaks to a lot of things. I think the culture that we have here at Michigan State, the culture within our athletic department and our program, and it's a tough place to leave, which I think is fantastic. It's awesome.
So what's the schedule for your team from now until February 14th? That's coming up pretty quick.
It's coming up fast. Next week, we'll work out here, every day, 6 days a week, and obviously we're inside, but we'll be ready to go on the 14th.
One question about your captains. I talked with both of them.
Yep.
And Jacob Anderson, Sam Busch, they seem like they're different types of leaders.
Yeah, I think they are. Sam's kind of a soft-spoken kid, but it's really been fun to watch him come out of his shell. Both on the field and in the locker room. And, Jacob is a kid that will do anything for the team and just wants the team to be successful. And, those are two first-class kids that the rest of the group is excited to have them represent them.
Well, Coach, it's time to get back to work. The first pitch dinner leads right into that opening series on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
and then hopefully, as I've said before, weather permitting, we'll be with you on March 12th right here at Jeff Ishbia Field at McLean Stadium for a non-conference game against Michigan.
Non-conference game against the Wolverines, yeah, so it'll be fun. March 12th. The field will be ready, I was told by the grounds crew, so I'm going to hold them to it.
All right, yep. Coach, thanks for the time.
Right. Thank you, Scott.
That's head coach Jake Boss. And that's going to do it for our coverage of the first pitch dinner for 2025. Reminder, the season starts for Michigan State baseball on the road against Western Michigan down in Cary, North Carolina on February 14th. And then the first home game again on Wednesday, March 12th against Michigan at the newly christened Jeff Ishbia Field at McLean Stadium in East Lansing. And we will have coverage of the games once they come up north after they've finished their southern swing. We will have coverage of the home games and selected road games here on the Spartan Media Network. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Scott Moore. Until baseball season starts, go green.